Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. My mic level is still good, so we're good here. I wanted to do a book review today on a book that I read that I thought was pretty good, but maybe a little bit long. And the book is called The Inevitable. And I listened to the audio version of this like I do on so many books. If you're curious about all the book reviews I do, and I do a lot of them, you can check out my playlist on the book reviews that I do, because I get through like probably about 2 to 3 books a week. Sometimes in one run I'll get through a book if it's a fairly short book. So I've got a couple of here to catch up on. But The Inevitable was a book that I recently consumed. I should say consume, because when I say read, some people are like, well, it's not really reading if you listen to it. And I'm like, well, it's the same fucking words, whether I spoke them in my head to myself or someone else read it to me while I was running. I get that it's maybe a little bit of a different neural process, but I got the content. That was what I'm after. I'm not after being a particular on that. So some of you get a little too sensitive about this kind of stuff. Some of you are even like, John, no, that hurt my feelings. Let's just have a moment for your feelings that are hurt because I said that. Okay, are we ready? Okay, are we ready to be toughened up? To, harden up? All right, let's talk about The Inevitable. So, what is this book about? This book is actually a very good book about the future. And here's the thing. When I first saw this book title, I was like, yeah, The Inevitable. Someone's going to predict 7 trends that are going to happen in the future, and whatever, maybe they'll be right, maybe they're not. How can anyone know this? But the approach is actually pretty smart, and I believe that what is covered in this book is actually inevitable, because you can see the models of sort of social evolution of how things develop and how systems develop, and they turn into platforms eventually, like Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, and how businesses end up going that way, how things go from products to processes. These are very inevitable things, and so you can look at the future in that lens and sort of predict some of these things that are going to happen. And it's almost certain, it's inevitable that this is the path that generalized evolution takes that we've seen. And so you can imagine some of these technologies. So it doesn't try to predict exact technologies in most cases, although in some cases it does. There's a lot of emphasis on this sort of like meta book or video, like searchable videos, and this video would be part of that, is that this idea that you could, just like the web is hyperlinked together, that all videos, all content, all medium, all books would sort of be linked together and footnoted together, and you could just navigate through all of the human knowledge. And it goes into some really crazy shit where, this whole kind of hive mind thing where we have this one mind, this one world essentially, and we're kind of already there. We already have AI, the birth of AI, like this human Google internet is one thing that sort of operates on its own and thinks on its own and provides information. And there's a lot of interesting things here. I don't 100% agree with everything in the book, but it is an interesting read, and I do think that it is a very accurate futurist type of book. And it talks about a lot of things, the black swans that we're not going to know, that we're not going to understand, that in sort of this whole point of the, what do they call it, where you can't see past the horizon, I'm forgetting the name for it, where we have AI and AI begets more AI. The singularity. So it's kind of scary when you think about it that way. But I think it's a really good book. I would recommend that you check out the book. I'm not going to say a lot more. It's really, there's a lot of details in there, a lot of stuff. I do feel like it was a little bit long, that rehashed quite a few things. At the same point about searchable videos was hit quite a few times, but I don't think that really detracts from the overall book. It's still a really good book, really good concepts in here. I may actually reread this book, especially in the coming years, as I want to get it. I feel like this will help you to understand what's coming in the future. I took some notes from there. I had some ideas on some things that I could do based on that, and really it pushed me into the direction of saying I need to become a platform more so than just a product or a producer. And so I'm really going to move Simple Programmer towards that model, through to the publisher model and the platform model, where a lot of things like, for example, Facebook, it doesn't produce its own content. Your content is its content. The same thing with Twitter and all the, these. Alibaba is a company. It's the largest retailer, and they don't have any products, right? And so that's a real interesting trend, and that's where I would like to go with Simple Programmer, because that scales really well. That makes sense. So at the very least, I got that from the book. I think you'll get a lot out of the book. All right, if you like this video, if you want to get more of my book reviews, more life advice, more videos, whatever the hell I put on this channel, click the subscribe button below if you're already a subscriber. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.